This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klouse. Let's get started.
How do three paladins of separate gods?
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends. I would give my life to see them through.
I could have, but I didn't. And every day has been beautiful since.
I think I'm surrounded by good things.
A cleric on a hunt for redemption.
I need it for my friends, family, these people that I love, who have always been the answers to my prayers.
Whatever the hell you are.
I don't know if deserving has anything to do with anything.
A storyteller.
And if you ever need me ever again, let me know.
And one I haven't figured out yet.
I think that would take me a while to find someone more knowledgeable than me.
All come together. And there's not a bit of fate in that?
I think you mispronounced friends.
Well, I will drink to that.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near. Take these wings to Nyessa. Carry them home.
Alright. Episode 52, Diplomacy. We see an obsidian chamber, marbled with white oars, opulent. The banners line the walls up to the elevated throne. We see a finger tapping impatiently upon the stone, bound in gilded armor. Beyond the doors of this chamber there is a rumbling thud that shakes loose dust from the ceiling and causes the guards lining each side of the chamber to shift uncomfortably in their amber glass armor. The man in gold sits up, straightening his posture as every step's drawn near. Our vision shifts, focusing upon the large double stone door, slowly focusing in on its center, where shadows and dim light shift beyond the center crack, with each step as if the bells toll. Our vision shifts again to the side, watching from a line of guards, seeing the others nervous on the other side of the chamber. The doors are open. A snout of black is thrust through, as large as any horse, followed by the rest of the terrible umber form. The dragon's head is wide, with large horns curving down then forward along its jaw. A strange energy flows beneath the scales and burns in the creature's eyes, like violet embers burning cool. The man in gold steps down from his throne. Breath of black fire, Malvzar, worm of umber, midnight hex. I greet you here not as a king, but as equals. Having considered the path before us, will you not stand with us to claim more for yourself than these shadowed lands? The great worm speaks.
I have considered your proposal, but you must first understand that we do not meet as equals. For I am beyond you, born of Ember. I am he who holds dominion over this world. Do not mistake conversation for acquiescence.
Demiri Voss drops his salesman's smile, tilting his head slightly. Dominion over what? Broken lands, filled with broken people? People who bring only broken offerings? Hex leans back, stretching to the height of the chamber.
Do not insult me, coward, or I shall put your supposed immortality to the test. I am the greatest drake of these in any lands. I am descended from Osa herself. It is I who...
Do not recite your heritage to me, for I was there when your grandfather Akashon of Whitefire cast you out, down here with me. The vibration of the drake's growl echoes off the walls before claws like black great swords rake across the chest of a nearby guard. Remembrance of Batar Iceborne. Previously, as the Bronze Scales continue their diplomatic mission into the god-forsaken lands of Fel Nor, they awaken in the dungeon of the said embassy. The Scales find the darkness of this place is more than the simple absence of light, and many begin to feel the burden of these unhallowed lands. For some time the Scales wait, but Braun does not come. After questions, another Umbach with a ruby beard comes to threaten the Scales into submission. The Scales instead decide on a method of escape. Ezekiel attempts to locate their confiscated gear, including the magical chalk. Meli needs to escape this place, but alas, this place is far from the gods. Despite this, Vesper and Amsen dimension door out, invisible. They land, however, in a mess hall. A bit of distraction lets them slip away, but the alarm is raised. The embassy guards begin running to their posts as the heavy bells of the embassy watchtower tolls, alerting any nearby. Vesper and Amsen search through the turmoil of the embassy, ducking into offices at a few close calls before settling that their gear is likely near the high security of the teleportation circle. As Vesper and Amsen begin their strike towards the heavy iron doors, Ezekiel, Meli, Ellory, and Ball are down in the dungeon, having quickly killed the remaining Umbach guard and damaging the lift. They collect what they have, trying to decide what to do as Ezekiel walls off the dungeon entrance with stone vines. Amsen and Vesper successfully execute an Umbach guard moving towards the door when they hear a voice from behind. Turning, they see a vampiric officer in amber glass armor, a few whites, and maybe a dozen skeletons. The pair make a last-ditch effort to get to their gear and the chalk, portaling beyond the door. They race through the doors towards the now-located vault, but the Batar and whites are upon them now. Vesper makes it to the chest just to turn to see Amsen and herself surrounded by undead. Amsen, seeing the foregone conclusion, surrenders to the Batar in the eyes of Vesper, who struggles valiantly. But come back to the story here. Vesper, you struggle as they put one of the manacles upon one arm, the other free, as you drop the chest completely. They begin to pull you out of the vault and into the hallway. 2 whites and several skeletons.
Can I do anything about
We're about to, once we get started, yes. So a manacled arm acts as restraint for anything using that arm. Your otherwise movement and the other arm is completely fine. If both arms get restrained, right now you just have one, then somatic casting becomes impossible. But right now it's just one. As this occurs, you watch as Amsen is guided without restraint or protest by the Batar vampire down the hallway towards the embassy entrance. Amsen, you're guided away from the vault to the foyer, the entrance of the embassy, with the calm palm of the black-eyed Batar upon your shoulder. As he guides you up the steps into Set, with the god's wounds scattered sky above, he says, "Don't worry, Amsen. I'll do my best to keep this civil. We'll wait here until it's safe." A nearby vampiric female walks from the crowd outside of the embassy, braided black hair and pale features. "The orders, Batar." He switches to another language. As she begins to walk up, "Take this." And he tosses her a sphere of chain about the size of a grapefruit. Chains are ruined and leave a strange ethereal afterimage as it arcs through the shadowed air. He then turns to you. "Amsen, your friend scraped me just a bit back there. Mind if I get a top off for old time's sake?" He smiles, revealing fangs. "Ball, Ellory, Ezekiel, Meli, you have destroyed the handful of Umbach who tried to hammer down to you are now in the lift ascending from the dungeon into the embassy proper. Ezekiel is in the form of a flea in Meli's hair, and you have only the hammers and shields you found on the slain Umbach, whose bodies lie at your feet. With the exception of the onyx gem of the war mage, you have a moment, a couple rounds, as the lift ascends to decide who has that and what you guys are doing. So we'll start with you guys to realign the timelines. Once you guys get to the top, then everything will start at once. So Ball, Ellory, Meli, and Amsen, if you guys wanted to do anything, you guys have a couple rounds.
I think Ball is the last one who had the gem in his hand. So I reach out to him. "Ball, let me use the gem."
It takes Ball a moment to hear that you're talking to him, and he just kind of stops gripping the maul that he's got, looks over to you, and then with one hand reaches into his pouch and passes you over the gem of the War Mage.
Okay, so I will first thing cast Mage Armor on myself. And then when we get to the top, let me act first.
Ezekiel has already disappeared.
Ball will look at you and nod and say, "Remember, we don't have much time."
Yeah, we need to get to Vesper and Amsen as quickly as we can.
And just for clarification, Ezekiel, I think did you animal shape in the elevator, I think, last time we left off?
Yeah, basically as everyone was entering, I would have just jumped onto Meli.
Okay. I was just going to say, if you needed to do something before you did that, I know we were in a rush last time, so you reasonably have, a couple rounds if you needed to do anything. Otherwise, you'd then turn into the flea.
No, I'm already concentrating, so...
Would I have seen that?
I mean, Ezekiel's certainly not there anymore.
Well, okay.
I don't know. It depends on if Ezekiel was hiding it or not.
I guess after Ball gives the gem over to Ellory and starts to kind of regrip his maul, he'll use his bonus action to convert some sorcery points into a spell slot. So I'll mark that down on my end.
And just for the record, I did take one of the shields that one of the Umbach was carrying.
And if you guys want to arrange yourselves as we're heading up, I have Ball in the front because that seemed like what was happening, but you guys have, one more round to get in position as you hear the lift is slowly coming to the top.
Which direction is the front on the map?
South.
South, okay. Yeah, I'm going to want to move... I guess I'm going to want to move in front of him if there's room to squeeze around.
There's very little room with Ball in there. Ball would basically have to move back, and Meli and you would have to be in front of him. Because it's a very, very small...
If that's what Ellory's insisting, then Ball will let it happen. Kind of Ball gets that Ellory seems to have some kind of a plan.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of being in front, but I will... Unless there's a way that I can reasonably see past him to cast.
He's pretty big. He's covering almost everything.
Yeah. So yeah, I will get in front of him.
Okay.
And before we do go up, Ball will will grip his holy symbol. And don't expect much to happen, but Ball's going to kind of like under his breath say something to the effect of, "AI, now is when we need you most."
Okay. And as that lift is nearing the top, and as you came here the first time, there were some torch-light implements along the wall. Not live flames, but some sort of glowing stones. But as you come near the top, you don't see that. You hear a voice in broken common. "All right, when you get to the top, lay down, or we'll end you here and now." That's it.
Oh, can we do something before we get to the top?
That was your was your time to do it. If you had something to do.
Okay, sorry.
Comes to the top, and you see what you see. Now, Ball, I know your vision is very limited, but you can hear the shifting of metal and arms. You can hear the strange labored breathing of undead ahead. Ellory, you can see what you see before you, which is a line a couple feet outside of the lift of Umbach dwarves behind massive tower shields. Behind them seems to be more individuals. The one in front speaks again. "All right, surrender now."
I would like to cast Fireball.
Okay. And you have the gem?
I have the gem.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to go into initiative order. As this happens, I need Ball, Meli, and Ellory to make dexterity saves.
It's a 14 for Ball.
Is that 19 for Ellory?
Okay.
And a 19 for Meli.
Okay. So all of you pass, so you each take 11 points of piercing damage. As you get to the top, and as Ellory begins to, and a little flare of ember begins to burn in her hands, there's a release of arrows and javelins that fly from this line, landing into you at various places. You try to dodge as best you can in this confined space, but a few of them hit you. And as that happens, there's also a glass sphere flies through the air, glinting off of whatever light that's left in here, reflecting as it smashes on the floor at your feet. This green fume erupts out from it. As you begin to breathe it in, coughing, your eyes watering, you can feel your esophagus and then your lungs begin to burn in pain. Everybody in the lift takes 4 points of poison damage. At which point, that will bring us up to Meli.
Question. That would include Ezekiel, right?
It would.
I'm not a flea.
So as this happens, you try to hold your breath in the flea form, but it burns into your tiny flea body, and you pop and fall off of Meli's head, which is probably going to be in one of the 2 squares in front of her, since there's no room behind. So Ezekiel, I'll let you kind of choose if you want to be there or there. And as this poison cloud erupts at your feet from this group of undead and Umbach in the shadows, prepared and ready for your ascent, that comes up to Meli.
Well, this is bad. And Meli is just gonna cast, mirror image on herself? So she there are now 4 Melis.
Okay. She does this as these mirror images of Meli begin to circle just around her, mimicking her movements, making it very difficult to tell which one is which. That will bring us up to... Does she want to move?
Maybe she'll move out of Ball's way, so my computer's being a little slow, but she'll get there.
As that happens, that will bring us up to here. So that is a... Actually, disadvantage. So one against Meli, one against Ezekiel, and one against Ball. That is a 13 to hit, a 12, and a 9 to hit.
Nope.
And these arrows fly from the darkness. And that'll bring us up to Vesper. So you are manacled in one hand, dragged into this hallway. The white in front of you is pulling out, or is grabbing the other manacle and is attempting to put it on your other hand. It's your turn. What do you do?
So I'm going to turn my camera off for the second show. So I'm going to basically grab my holy symbol with my free hand and put my chin over my fist and my arm against my chest. And then I can't really cast well right now anyways, so I'm just going to try and lay on the ground.
Okay.
Because I imagine my friends are probably on their way. So I'm basically just going to try and drag my feet, and I'm just going to go limp like a cat on a leash and just be impossible to drag anywhere.
Okay, so you just go limp as you fall.
Yeah, I'm basically taking the dodge action, I think.
Okay, so we'll say you're curling up and trying to kind of protect your vitals.
And just protecting my vitals and my free hand and just and my holy symbol and just trying to get on the floor.
Gotcha. Okay. So that will bring us up to Amsen. So Amsen, you are outside, standing beside the Batar, who has one hand on your shoulder, standing next to a white and a number of their friends. What do you do?
So Amsen's still charmed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty chill about the whole situation. And he's probably going to look around and he's going to be like, so, I haven't been in Felnor for very long. Is it always this dark and dour, or do we catch it in its summer season?
Well, it is always like this, Amsen, but it's not all bad. After we clean this up, I'll show you around.
And as he's saying this, he's taking your hair and kind of pushing it over one of your ears, revealing your neck.
Yeah, Amsen's not going to pay too much attention to what he's doing right now, but he is going to kind of look back at towards the embassy, kind of wondering when Vesper will finally get here.
That will bring us up to the whites around you, Vesper. One of them is holding you, now that you've gotten on the ground, is kind of holding you down, is trying to pull you up as the other is trying to put the last manacle on you. Are you going to try to resist them?
Absolutely.
Okay, so make a athletics check.
Athletics?
Or athletics or acrobatics.
Great. That's a 26.
Okay. And the other one. Okay. So they struggle to try to flip you over, but you're just curled up and are not releasing that one hand, curling up and grabbing onto the holy symbol. The one holding you down as the other tries to wrench that arm out, finally lets go, and you feel a palm on the back of your back. Boy. So that is a natural 19.
Disadvantage because of my dodge action.
But you're also prone on the ground.
I guess so.
So that's a 24.
Yeah.
So you take 5 necrotic damage, and then make a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 20. So
okay.
22.
Okay. So you take the damage, but your max isn't reduced by that much. And then that is a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that just hits.
Okay. You feel this energy being drawn out by some of the wounds in your struggle. And after that, you hear this frustrated noise as another sharp pain drives into your back, dealing 10 piercing damage as a longsword sinks into your back.
I'll scream. I'm trying to make noise as well.
Okay. So you begin screaming as the 2 skeletons nearby. 16.
Yep.
And a natural 20.
Yep.
Which is 21 slashing damage. As these skeletons kind of rush up and begin to tear into you as seeing the white now attacking you. The other 2 are kind of halting back. And that will bring us up to her. She begins to move in. Ellory is now up to you.
Okay, so I'm going to try casting that fireball now. And I want to send it out so I can barely see the front line of people in front of us. So I want to send it out 20 feet behind them.
Okay.
So everybody there and 20 feet behind them have to make deck saves.
So that's an 18, a 14, and a 10.
The 18 will take half damage. The others will take full damage. I dropped one of my dice. I'll just grab another.
And Ezekiel, you're on deck.
Okay. 20... That's 34 points of fire damage.
All right. You sling this ember out. Hits the back wall, exploding, as you see briefly lit up 2 rows of Umbak dwarves in armor, and a number of undead. It looks like a white as well.
And I am going to move up in front of Meli to get out of Ball's way.
Okay.
Is there any chance that this fireball ignited any torches in the area?
If there were torches it might have, they use those glowing stones you saw before. 84. The explosion rings out in this concussive place with very little area and room for the sound of the flames to escape. You hear the clattering of many bones onto the ground. All right, and that will bring us up to Amsen. You're standing outside speaking to the vampire, and as he pushes his hair, or pushes your hair to the side, revealing the tattoo on his neck, he leans in and sinks his teeth into your neck. You take 8 piercing damage and 9 necrotic damage. Your max health is reduced by 9. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel. So you're lying prone on the ground, having fallen out of your flea shape. And actually, I meant to do this. Meli and Ellory, you both take 4 points of poison damage in the poisonous cloud. And Ezekiel, you take 4 at the start of your turn as well. Poison damage.
Since Amsen took harm from the vampire, does he get to make another save?
Not for that one. Not for the bite. He's a willing creature. So Ezekiel, you're lying on the ground, kind of looking around, coughing at this burning greenish fume in the air, eyes watering. What do you do?
All right, well, everything went to shit that I wanted to not do. So I am going to just move in front of Ellory, and then I don't have much, but I will just cast the light cantrip on my holy symbol. And that is a racial ability not from my god.
And what's the range on that?
It's 2020.
Okay.
Oh. I liked it better when I couldn't see all of this.
As the light sheds from Ezekiel, spreading out, you can see a row of dwarves behind massive tower shields. They're just peeking over, forming a phalanx. Behind them, you can see a number of others with javelins and hammers in their hand. Behind them, there were lines of undead skeletons now scattered upon the ground, and now there's one white, who's like patting out the last of the flames upon his shoulders as he draws this serrated on both sides serpentine-like longsword. That will be it for Ezekiel, unless there's something else. Bring us here. Ball, it is up to you now.
All right. And Ezekiel's standing there. Okay.
Vesper, you'll be on deck.
In this moment, when I see all of these dwarves, they're dwarves, right?
They're sort of dwarves.
These
they
sort
look like
of dwarves,
the cousins of dwarves, yeah. But they have metal for beards. The center one behind the tower shield having ruby for eyes and beard.
And just at a quick glance, does it look like they're very roughed up, or not quite so much?
They look okay. They look a little roughed up. You can see the flames burning, scalding some of their skin. But they're standing steady behind their shields.
Okay.
And Ball, you take 4 points of poison damage at the start of your turn as well.
I'm going to run forward. I'm just going to do my fire step right away here. Sorry, this is the hard part about being 2x2 is all these extra things kind of make it a little more complicated. You know what, I'll just go with fire. I'll go with fire form then. So I'm going to use my action to cast fire form, but first I'm going to get actually doubles my speed. I'll just do it now. So fire form, basically, or with my bonus action, what I'm going to do is just is use Mantle of Flames. So that gives me bright light for 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30. I think you said it's halved though. And then I'm going to go fire form and just try to make a run into this white and then come out the other end. I would end up here, and I guess the line that it would draw would be, I'm going to come through, and then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'd end my turn there, and then I guess I'd pop up into some kind of a space.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so you'll land here, or you can land one more too there. Your choice.
Okay, yeah, that works for me. I guess the further works better for me.
All right, so as you blaze through, go ahead and roll that damage as you ball morphs into a sphere, a small sphere of energy, flames bursting forward, rushing right through the front line of the Ombak, tearing through the white, erupting in flames, landing on the other side, his heavy feet crunching on top of the bones, crushing it into dust. 7. And so these Ombaks sling their hammers and javelins as you come by. The only one close is a 17 to hit.
No, that won't hit.
Okay. You see the white reach out with this dark, reddish crimson energy drawing for you, but just scalds his hand as he pulls it away as you land there. And Vesper, they'll be up to you in just a moment.
Meli?
Oh, I didn't scroll up all the way. Yeah, so it'll be Meli in just a moment. Let me just... Actually, Meli, you can go ahead while I take care of the damage here.
Okay. So, Meli is just gonna Ray of Frost that dwarf in the front line all the way on the right.
Okay. Roll at disadvantages. The front line are forming a phalanx with their shields. They're effectively taking the dodge action.
Okay. So Meli's attack bonus, that would be 18.
That'll hit, just barely.
All right, so that's...
Forms the frost. This sphere of ice slings towards it. He tries to bat it away, but it comes right over the edge of the shield, slamming into the side of his helm and shoulder, knocking his helm to the side.
7 cold damage.
That guy's looking pretty rough. He leans up, scraping his shoulder against the side of the wall, struggles back to his feet, kind of leaning over. He's barely standing. The rest are looking pretty rough as well.
And I'm not going to move, so that's her turn.
Okay, so that'll bring us up to here, which will bring us up to this white. Step here, and then against you, Ball. That is a 25.
Yes, that will hit me.
Ball, you take 12 necrotic damage and make a Constitution saving throw.
Warcaster it only gives me advantage if it's for concentration, correct, right?
Correct.
Okay, so just regular straight saving throw. It's natural 1.
Okay, so your maximum hit points are reduced by that amount. And second attack.
And sorry, how much damage was that? It was...
Does someone remember?
I did the minus damage. 12.
12.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. So as he reaches out with that crimson energy, he draws from your wounds energy. The wounds seem to almost rot, pulling away the energy, which makes your fire form diminish slightly in those areas as he rakes the sword across. That is a 14 as it scrapes across the armor.
That won't hit. When the white did attack me the first time, he would have taken 3 fire damage.
Okay. The flames burst in retaliation against him. You can see he is burnt pretty bad. He's looking pretty rough, still standing. That will bring it. Yep.
And then, I don't know if moving into a separate square counts as entering the trail of fire that stays behind, but he does end his turn in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he wanted to take it twice or just at the end for ending his turn in it.
Go ahead and roll once for me.
Okay. 13 fire damage.
He's looking very rough now. He's being burnt. I mean, he's going to step out of it. Now that he's being a dumbass. That will bring us up to...
if he steps out, do I get an attack of opportunity on him?
You could, yeah. You could use your action to do so.
Sweet.
So as he steps out of the flames, avoiding the burning.
So I will do Phoenix Blade on him.
Okay.
With the maul. And I believe that's strength plus my proficiency.
That's
great.
Good.
That's a natural 20.
Yeah, that hits. Good roll damage.
You said he was looking pretty rough, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to add anything into it in terms of smites. The maul is 2d6, I believe. Plus, so ignore the roll part. I'll roll damage twice, so it's 1 plus just 8. So 6 plus 8, that's 14. It does a bunch of fire damage. Let me know if I don't need to do the math.
You don't need to.
Okay.
So while you swing wide, slamming into the temple of this white, bursting into flames as the body slams into the back of the Yolmbag next to him before falling to the ground, clattering the weapon upon the dusted now bones. What's left are being burnt into black by the trail you left. And now that will bring us up to Vesper. So you're currently on the ground, being attacked, being frustrated by trying to manacle you. One is seemingly still trying to, the rest are punishing you for resisting.
So with my action, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. And my gesture for that is I'm going to take my holy symbol and stick it under my shirt against my chest. So I'm going to try and cast. Ooh, not great. Yeah, no, it's a 9.
Okay. Yeah, you try to pull the energy, but it's too far.
Okay. That would have been at second level, so that was low. That spell slot. And then I'll roll and basically surrender my wrist.
Okay. So you just turn on your back.
I'm not getting up yet, though. I'm still going to stay limp if they try and pull me to my feet, but I'll let them mangle me at least.
Yeah, otherwise, okay. So that will bring us up to Amsen as he kind of pulls his neck back. Delightful. This should be over soon, Amsen. As he kind of wipes his mouth from the blood, handing you a small handkerchief to wipe off your neck as well.
Amsen will kind of sway back and forth as he's getting a little lightheaded from the loss of blood, but he'll take it and he'll kind of dab it against his neck.
Okay.
Oh. But that's his turn.
Okay. That will bring us to the whites around Vesper. So one of them, if you're not resisting, will manacle your other arm.
Okay.
Okay. And they then begin to drag you to the side.
Okay. I'm staying limp, so I'm not resisting. Like, they can drag me, but I'm not standing up. Like, I'm keeping my legs buckled to make it difficult. And I will continue to yell to try and hopefully let my friends hear where I am.
To yell as they pull you around. As you're continuing to yell, one of them kind of grabs you by the back of the hair and pulls your face up to you, so you can look into this pale form with the skin stretched tight across the skeleton beneath it, these piercing pale blue eyes, and you still have tongues up. So he says, "Quiet yourself or I'll do it for you." And that will bring us up to, so they're going to pull you to the side and basically see if you continue screaming or not. That will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay. I remembered that I forgot to roll for a surge before, when I cast Fireball.
Okay.
So I should go ahead and
do it.
That is a 2.
Okay. So that is a...
That's below my proficiency bonus, so...
Okay. So you roll on the wild magic table then?
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-oh. This could literally be anything.
Yeah, this
1d100.
Be interesting. I always forget how to read this. That is a 47.
Okay. Okay. So as this occurs, as the fireball is exploding, there's a spark of energy. And you don't notice it at first, but as you're now looking to the side, all of you can see this spark of pink, and purple, and green, shifting and silver. And the sparkle begins to expand as you see something coming out of this rift in this plane. You can see what comes forth. It looks like maybe a spear or a blade. You can see this spiral of ivory. Before next comes the head and a body of a horse. You see a unicorn with silver skin stepping, looking around, confused. The sparkle of its form kind of illuminates dimly the area around it as it just kind of huffs and kind of scrapes the stone ground with its hooves, looking around, trying to understand what is happening. So there's a unicorn next to you, and that will bring us up to your turn.
Okay. Holy shit, I say, both in and out of character. I stare at the unicorn for just a second, and then I kind of shake some sense into myself, and what am I casting? Right, I cast Eldritch Blast on the 2 that are at the top right.
Both of those are at disadvantage as they have their shields up.
Okay. 18 on the first one.
That's just it.
And 10 on the second.
That will miss. 0 damage on the first one as it slams in, knocking his shield back as the other slams into the shield, warping the metal but not piercing through.
So that is 8 points of force damage.
The Ombak is slammed back by the force against the wall before tumbling back onto the ground and moving.
Alrighty then.
You can see the shield and his shoulder plate kind of rended from his arm. It's twisted back from the force of your blast. And you staying where you are?
Yeah, I don't really see a good way to go forward, so I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay. That will bring us up to them, actually. And, Bo, how long does that fire last? 1 round?
Until the end of my turn.
Okay.
Until the end of my next turn.
So this one is going to step up and is going to... Actually, no, he's going to step up and try to hit you, Ball. That is a 20.
That'll just hit.
20.
That'll just hit.
So as he turns, slamming into you, 9 bludgeoning damage as he slams them all into you, turning to face you. These 2 are going to continue to get in their stance. This one's going to get out of there and is going to run forward. So this Umbak will take some damage from being in the fire as he runs up to Ellory. This one stepping up to Ezekiel, and this one stepping back to throw a javelin. It's a ball.
So it'll be 7 damage to the one that moved through the fire, 3 fire damage to the one that attacked me.
Okay. So against Ellory, natural 1. Against Ezekiel, natural 2. And against Ball, again, that is a 17.
Oh, that won't hit.
Okay, so he throws a javelin at you that hits, but it's halfway burnt by the time it gets to you, as its ashes and what's remaining kind of slide to the ground, burning. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel.
Okay.
With Ball on deck.
I don't have much, so I am going to look to the unicorn and take a guess and say Sylvan, and say, look, I don't know why you're here or what's going on, but we could really use your help right now against these evil things.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
Okay, no, that's Meli. I'm just going to roll real dice. Should be plus 6. Okay, decent. So lower one is a 16.
Okay. The creature kind of looks back at you and kind of tilts its head to the side. And what else do you do for your turn, Ezekiel?
Was that an action or?
It was pretty quick.
All right, then I am just going to bless, or try to, so I'll make my wisdom check, right?
Correct.
8 plus 4, 12?
Previously, you said that was using our spell attack modifier.
Oh, in that case.
Which includes proficiency bonus.
Okay, yeah, good call.
So 16.
That will make it.
Then I will bless Ellory, Meli, and Ball.
Okay. There's a little bit of wind begins to stir around those 3. Are you staying where you are, Ezekiel?
Yep. Can't really move.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Ball.
I hear you guys. Ball hears you guys talking to some voice that he doesn't recognize, being behind the corner. Klouse, when I look to my right, what do I see? Is this just kind of a dead end?
There's a door.
And just it's closed?
It is currently closed.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to, as a bonus action, attack this guy in front of me, this on back.
Okay.
Using Phoenix Blade with the maul. And now I get the bonus 1d4, I believe, right? So 12?
That will not hit. He uses his maul and kind of shorter checks your elbow as you come down on the swing. Is that all for you, Ball?
No, with my action, I'm going to use... Do I feel like lay on hands would still work here? Or do I feel like I would need to have a check for that as well? Or I don't know.
You probably don't know. Yeah.
All right, well, kind of waiting for the party and seeing the party still kind of surrounded here. Ball looks really rough, so Ball is going to just use his action here to dodge. That'll be the end of turn.
All right, so you get into a stance to be able to parry away any further attacks. And that will bring us here and to Meli, who takes... Actually, we'll stick with 4. 4 poison damage, so I don't have to roll every time.
Okay, Meli really needs to get out of this poison shit. So you said the dwarves were looking fairly rough?
They are, yeah. There's a few that are hanging on, but others are looking worn down at this point. The one right next to Ellory is looking the worst.
Okay. Meli is going to cast Sleep. Centered.
Okay.
Let me see how big this radius is to see who I can get.
I think it's a 20-foot radius.
Yeah, so I'm going to place it so I can get all of the dwarves. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to cast it using a 4th level spell slot. So that is going to be 5d8 plus 2 for each spell slot. Math, 11d8. I'm going to roll that here.
Okay.
47 hit points worth of them falling, because I'm hoping that everybody else is above.
Yeah, and I was about to say it affects anyone in the range. Let's see.
But
does anyone
lowest
have
hit points first?
Anyone have less than 4? So that's a no. So this guy, use that, is sleepy. Anyone less than 12?
Ball.
So Ball falls out. Anyone now below 12? Okay. And anyone below 18?
Nope.
Okay, so no one's below 18. Okay. So that will hit 15 and then another 18, and then I'll make sure. Calculator?
I did -4, -10, -12, -18, leaves me with 3 left. That's what you're doing.
Okay. So it gets one of the 18s. So there's one still standing. That guy falls asleep too. Yeah, so as Meli conjures up this spell of sleep, 1, 2, 3, 4 Umbach guards sway before falling into the ground, as well as you hear a loud thud as Ball apparently falls as well. There's one Umbach that's still standing. That will bring us up to that.
And I'm just moving Meli out of the cloud. She's behind the dead guy, but she's just kind of standing over him, or the sleeping one. I don't know if he's dead or sleeping.
Anyone with the blue are sleeping, so there's just one that's standing still. Vesper, as you're putting your hand up and they're beginning to manacle that free hand, you hear of a iron door being opened down the hallway towards the teleportation circle. You hear running heavy steps and skidding to a stop. You see an Umbach with a dark beard turning to the side, looking around, and sees you. You could just wait. Officer Farrock, Braun Farrock, then looks to one of the whites. As officer of the Deep Lords of this embassy, I officially resign my authority upon this prisoner. Do as you will. As he then looks one last time at you and begins to head off down the hallway.
Can I hear the fighting from the elevator?
You've heard a few loud, like the fireball, you would have heard that, some loud explosions, stuff like that. Distantly, because you're pretty far away, but you would have heard it. That will actually bring us up to you, Vesper.
Okay. I glance at the white that threatened me, and I cast Thaumaturgy and make my voice 3 times as loud, and I just scream, Ellory!
Okay.
And then do I have... Nope, don't really have anything else I can do. I have Healing Word. I will try and Healing Word myself as my bonus action.
That requires a check.
Sure do.
And both of your wrists are now manacled.
Yeah, it's just
which
verbal.
Doesn't bother for this one.
Sorted everything out. That is a 13.
That will just fail.
Fuck. Okay.
As you try to reach out, but you are far from the gods now.
All right. Well, it's been an honor and a privilege, guys.
That'll bring us up to Amsen, as you're still standing outside. The Batar is kind of just leaning back on one foot, kind of looking around, just kind of waiting. You can hear a loud to the side as he looks over. You hear him whisper in another language as you see a beast on the edge of the outer embassy lights. Something large, kind of nearby. Maybe the size of a horse in the shadows.
Did I hear Vesper scream?
You would have heard that, yeah.
So I think Amsen, upon hearing Vesper scream, he's probably going to say, Vesper! And take a step towards her in that direction.
Okay. You take a step forward and he kind of puts his palm back on your shoulder. Amsen, I assure you, we're going to take care of this. She'll be okay. Just wait here. And he's not forcing you, but he's put his palm up on you.
He's going to look back and he's going to ask, can you make sure that they don't hurt her?
Of course. I'll put my best man upon it. And he looks towards the white to your left, and he says in another language, Rasir Vasikins Rofai, as the white nods and then begins to move in that direction.
And then I think Amsen's just going to spend the rest of his turn, because he can't see anything or do anything right now, just looking worried and trying to stay positive.
Yeah. So Amsen, worried in the shadows surrounded by enemies, hearing Vesper, but being assured by his friend that everything will be all right. That brings us to the whites in the teleportation hall, next to Braun and next to Vesper. As you scream out Vesper, one of the whites then slams their hand, or attempts to, over your mouth. That is a 20-something. 24.
Yeah, that'll hit.
You take 9 necrotic damage and make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no, it's a save. Sorry. Still not good. That's only an 8.
Okay, your hit points are reduced by that much.
By 9?
Yeah, by your maximum. So he tries to put his hand over your mouth, but as he does so, that crimson energy draws out. You can feel, it's not just like the opening of wounds. You can feel something inside you being drawn out, being withered away. And that is a 23 to hit.
Yep.
As you take 7 slashing damage as the sword rakes across your back.
Holy shit. Okay.
The other one is then going to fully attempt to just cover your mouth. So I'm going to make this a grapple check if you're going to resist.
Yeah.
Okay. So make a acrobatics or athletics check.
Definitely acrobatics. 21.
That's a 21 as well.
So
isn't that good for you?
Yeah, because tied, everything just stays.
Okay.
Yeah, remains.
So he attempts to pull it over, and he has his hand over your mouth, but not fully enough to quite cover completely.
And I've got
so
a minute. Yeah, I've got a minute on thaumaturgy, and I'm just yelling the names of all of my friends.
Okay.
As loud as I can.
15 and an 18 to hit.
Yes. If it's more than 4 damage, I'm out.
As the skeletons rake into you as well.
Okay.
As you go unconscious. Yeah. Falling out as this last bit of energy is kind of drawn from you, and the skeletons kind of rake into you with what's left of their half broken, half rusted weapons.
Okay.
That will bring us to Ellory.
So I heard Vesper, right?
From that distance, I think you heard something. I don't think you could make out the words, but you heard something that wasn't.
It really? So
it's pretty
3
far
times
away.
as loud. I know, but you said I could hear the fireball.
But all
enough
you hear
to recognize.
Yeah, so you hear something that isn't undead and isn't the dwarves yelling. But you maybe can't make out the actual phrase, the actual word, but you hear something screaming, and you can presume who it is, because it's not the undead and it's not the Umbach. At the start of your turn, you take 4 points of poison damage.
All right. Okay, so first thing is I am going to get out of there, past Meli. I think that's as far as I can go. And I am going to... Oh, no, I can't do that. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to cast Firebolt at the last standing Umbach.
Okay. Make attack roll. It's just a straight roll. He's no longer in the phalanx.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's a 25 total.
That it's.
So...
As this dwarf behind his tower shield is looking around and seeing half of his friends, or all that remain, dropping unconscious.
That's 12 points of fire damage.
As it slams into the side of his temple, the force actually knocks him into the wall as he kind of sways back into position. He's still standing, but you can see his helmet has a slight dent on it, as that side of his face and shoulder and clavicle area is burning on fire. As he turns to you.
And, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. That will bring us up to, actually, at that point, the unicorn is looking around, confused, and looking at the dwarves on the ground and at you all, and is beginning to try to shift out of this poison as they are taking damage as well. Is clattering back and forth at this point, trying to figure out where to go. That will bring us up to Ezekiel.
Okay.
There's actually one more in front. So that is these guys. So at the start of his turn, he takes 4 points. You see one of the unconscious dwarves sleeping, kind of sleeping, and then dies. Stops breathing.
That sucks.
This other sleeping one coughs, but his eyes awaken as he stands up, trying to get a hold of what's going on, sees Ezekiel, and then attacks. That is a 22 to hit?
Yeah.
So he's just using the hammer. 10 bludgeoning damage as he comes down with a hammer, slamming it into you. And he's going to shift out of the poison. Ezekiel and Meli will both get attacks of opportunity if you chose them.
You know what? I don't have a weapon, but I'll punch him.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Nope.
Okay. As you're punching him, the other Umbach standing in front of you The one who is now on fire, the one who remains standing, that is a 18 to hit.
Depends on if my shield was taken away. I haven't actually been attacked yet, and I never asked. Weapons were, I wasn't sure about my shield.
No, they let you keep shields.
Then no, it does not hit.
Okay, so he comes down with his hammer, but you're just in time.
No, sorry. Sorry, no, yeah, it doesn't hit.
As you're coming across with your fist, you see the hammer just in time to twist and turn using the shield to parry the blow away. It's a heavy blow, and it kind of knocks you off your foot for just a moment before you resettle. I'm able to dodge that blow.
And actually, Meli would like to take a reaction, because I see she has Warcaster, and she's going to do Shocking Grasp.
Oh boy, okay. Is that an attack roll?
Yes, it is.
And he's wearing heavy armor, if that matters.
So that's advantage. Take the 21. So that is another garbage damage. 2 lightning.
Oh, there's not much left of him, but as Meli, the lightning strikes across him into his back, you can see the marbled veins of the armor, this strange steel, seem to transmit the electricity very well as he kind of shocks and locks up in place, still standing. And that will bring us up to Ezekiel now. Sorry about that.
Okay. I am going to continue to look at the unicorn and say, we're in Felnor. We came trying to find peace, but clearly it's not working. If you can help us get out, I can explain better. And then I am going to do absolutely fucking nothing, because what I wanted to do, I can't make it there now. So, fuck.
You take 4 points of poison damage at the start of your turn.
Okay. I am just going to... I know he's on the ground, but I can't get to him to use an action, so I'm just going to try to Healing Word Ball. So I'll do my roll, and hopefully it's not crap. Oh, that's good. It's like 25 or something, even with disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just a baby, but you get 7 hit points back, Ball, and if I can do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, I'm going to take some hits, but I'm going to get out of that fucking poison. I had to go around through Meli and Ellory, but I think even with the difficult terrain through them, I can get around.
So only one will get an attack since the other one is locked up by the shocking electricities. He tries to swing at you, but he can't. The other one is a 19.
Miss, fuck you.
As he swings the hammer towards you as you duck under it, just in time, sliding into the other side. And if that is it for Ezekiel, that will bring us up to Ball.
Actually, action dodge, because I didn't use an action.
Okay. Yeah, you step into a stance to be able to step out and move. Brings us up to Ball, who is currently still sleeping.
Yes, any chance I get a visitor when I sleep?
We'll see how long you stay asleep. So one round so far. And that will bring us back up to Meli.
Okay. Meli is going to... you know what? She's going to reach out and try and Shocking Grasp that guy in front of her again. With a 15 plus 9, so 24.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better, 12 lightning damage.
Yeah. And as the electricity runs up, you can see he finally clenches his weapon before falling forward. The weapon still clenched in his hand, his body convulsing, but otherwise dead.
Meli is going to move right over here by Ball. And that's her turn.
Okay. That will bring us up to Vesper.
Natural 20 on my death save.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Vesper, you breathe in on your back, manacled, surrounded by wights and vampires.
I'm not opening my eyes.
I'm sorry, wights and skeletons.
As soon as I feel my consciousness come back, I'm going to stay limp, keep my eyes shut, and try and play dead.
Okay. I'm going to say make a performance check.
Great. I'm so charismatic.
That's a disadvantage because of your
yes, it is.
despair.
12.
Okay. So you kind of feel it come back to you, and your chest rises, but you try to be as still as possible.
Not dead, even just unconscious, basically. I just don't want them to think I'm fighting.
Okay. That will bring us up to Amsen with Ellory on deck. So Amsen, you're standing back, having stepped forward a bit with the palm still on your shoulder.
The white now, or whatever he sent.
He is going through the door. He just went through I'm not sure how far you can see, but he's in the embassy at this point.
Okay. I think genuinely worried, but because he's charmed, he's not going to, disobey his dear friend. He's just going to kind of quietly hum to himself a comforting song and just wait.
Okay. As Amsen is humming, that will bring us up to Vesper, pretending to be asleep. You're beginning to be pulled and dragged away. You're not sure where, but you're being pulled. And that will now bring us up to Ellory.
So I am going to look down at Ball and say, please be alive, and attempt to cast Healing Word.
Okay.
So I need
Is this a cleric?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So
make your check.
That's at disadvantage, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that is 15.
Yeah, that makes it.
Okay. And I
cast Healing Word upon Ball.
No idea what I'm rolling.
D4 depending on what spell slot plus wisdom.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and make that second level. So that should be 8 points. Yeah, that's 8 points.
So you see some of Ball's wounds heal, but he still appears to be sleeping unconscious. So it's your bonus. You use some of your movement, and Ezekiel will be on deck.
Okay, so that was my bonus action, right? So I'm going to move a little bit more down against the wall so that as my action I can use a cantrip, right?
Correct. If it's an action to cast.
Yes, so I will cast Eldritch Blast, both rays, at this dude.
Sure.
One of them is 25 to hit.
Is that right?
And the other is 13 to hit.
That will miss. So the first one hits though.
Okay.
As you... The second one slams into the wall, warping the stone there strangely.
For 6 points of force damage.
As the first one slams in, knocking him off his feet, sliding back into the poison just a bit as he falls as well. So that is Ellory. Amsen, you can feel the kind of palm of the Batar on your shoulder gripping just a little bit as he kind of takes a step forward to match your gait. Not here, Amsen. It'll be all right. And that will bring us up to these guys that are either dead or unconscious sleeping, up to Ezekiel. But before that, there was one more thing for Vesper that I forgot. So they were dragging you. You feel a hand upon your holy symbol, beginning to pull it away as you're conscious. Do you do anything?
No.
Okay, so you feel a tug and then a snap as it's pulled off. And now it brings us up to Ezekiel.
All right. I'm going to run over here, avoiding the sleeping guy, use my action to shake Ball to get him up. And then I'll just turn back to the unicorn and say, come out of that poison, please. Our friends are still trapped here somewhere. There are undead everywhere. If you have any means of helping us, please.
As you say that, the horn, there's a bit of silver energy that kind of drives up to the end before there's a brief flash and it dissipates. It then kind of looks back at you. There's more nearby. Undead. It begins to taking its hooves and moving out of the poison cloud towards you, Ezekiel. I've sensed them. There's more of them. as it looks at you. But who are you? It kind of looks to you and then to the rest of you.
That's my turn.
Okay. As the unicorn is interrogating you, that will bring us up to Ball. So you're shaken awake, you're on your back. And as Ezekiel kind of gets off shaking you awake, you see Ezekiel, Meli, Ellory standing before you, and a giant unicorn as well. The undead are scattered to bones. The few remaining Umbach are sleeping or dead.
So, first of all, with the Mantle of Flame, it doesn't mention anything in there about what happens when I go unconscious. So, my understanding is it should still be active. So, I'll leave it up to you on how you want to...
That sounds... Yeah, we'll run with that. So, the flames are still burning. They subsided a bit when you were sleeping, but as you kind of stand once more, they flare back up.
So, Ball kind of recovers. Ball might have just, I guess, heard bits of this conversation. Was this the conversation in Sylvan?
It was.
Okay, so kind of Ball looks up, confused, looks at Ezekiel and says, who is this? What is this? Do we know what unicorns are?
Only in the sense of like fanny packs, in the sense of fairy tales type things.
Okay, so maybe
they're magical creatures of some sort.
So maybe Ball just readies his weapon and is just kind of looking at this horse unicorn nervously, and will, I guess, with his, can I just like hold my turn until it's, I guess, after Ezekiel?
Are you like preparing an action or?
Well, there's nothing really for Ball to do right now, unless Ball's going to go run over and hit sleeping people. So Ball's just I just kind of want to defer my turn.
Okay.
You do something about that door?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, okay, yeah. Can Ezekiel respond when I ask Ezekiel who this thing is?
Don't know. Showed up. Where are the others? We got to get to the rest.
Okay, so then Ball will turn around and try to see if he can get this door open.
It appears locked as you just initial press against it.
Can I attack the door?
You can either attack it and try to break it down that way, or you could use athletics to try to break it down. Your choice.
Ball's got a giant maul. He is going to try to attack it.
Okay.
So I will do I don't even know if I can technically use Phoenix Blade on a door since it's not a creature. Anyway, Ball attacks the door.
Okay. Make an attack roll. As you bring that heavy maul above your head, slamming it.
For a 10.
You slam into the door. You can see it's pushed back a little bit. Some of the doors in here are a lighter material, something like a ceramic. This one seems to be made of metal, and you push it back a little bit, but it doesn't budge much.
Ball casts Compel Duel on the door. No, Ball just kind of like raises his maul ready to strike again, and that's all I can do.
That will bring us back to Meli.
Meli is just kind of nervously look at the sleeping people, and then does she have anything to hurt a door? Nope. So she's going to awkwardly stand there and prepare a ray of frost if the door opens.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Vesper. So they have pulled off the holy symbol and appear to be dragging you somewhere.
Do I hear the door when Ball clangs against it?
Let's see. I say, yeah, you would hear a distant kind of thump.
Okay. I'll say, doing what I'm doing.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Amsen if you want to do anything.
As far as Amsen can tell, the situation hasn't changed. So I guess he'll look over and to his vampire friend and be like, actually, I don't know. Amsen is kind of just speechless right now. He probably just skips his turn.
Okay. That will bring us up to Vesper, you're being dragged, and then to Ellory.
Is there any kind of like locking mechanism on this side of the door?
It looks like there is one, but as Ball hit it, the door kind of gave a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's actually locked.
Okay. Other question. When the unicorn spoke, what language was it speaking in? Could we understand it or just
is speaking in Sylvan, so anyone that knows Sylvan would be able to understand.
That would not be me. So I saw that it gave a little bit, but it didn't seem to be locked, the door. Shit, I don't know what to do.
So, I'm having the unicorn act on your turn. The unicorn in Sylvan kind of looks towards Ezekiel. I can take thee with me. The one who summoned me, as it looks towards Ellory and two others. As it looks back towards you, Ezekiel, as you seem to be able to understand it.
Can I respond in this moment?
Yeah, like brief, yeah.
Where can you take them? And take everyone but me.
I can take them a bit away, out of here.
And then Ball will interrupt and say that I'm not leaving without Vesper and Amsen. Our friends are here.
Can you at least get them outside of this building?
I wish I could.
I can find them.
I can.
I will translate that to the group. He can get you outside. I'll try and find Amsen and Vesper.
We need them. We have a way out if we can get them, or at least if we can get the bags that they're holding. But we need both of them.
Well, it's either we stay trapped in this hallway or that thing gets us out in a little distance. I don't know what to do. Can you just get them to the other side of the door? I'll figure out how to get through.
Was that towards the unicorn?
Yeah, since that seems to be. Get us. Fuck the door. Get us through.
Can it get us to. I heard yelling. Can it get us to there?
Can we describe the location of the teleportation room and get us there? We know that. We know how to get out from there.
I can try. But if I am off, not seeing this place, you'll be shunted into walls. So the unicorn seems willing to teleport if it's directed kind of how you want to do it, essentially. As y'all are kind of having that discussion, essentially its next action can do that if y'all kind of prepare and tell it what you want it to do. Going down. So outside of the door, you hear something as you're having this discussion. You hear something landing on the ground and then stopping. And you hear a strange, like metal, all at once being dropped onto the ground, like as if someone is opening up a coin purse onto the ground. You hear metal hitting stone. And then silence. And that brings us back up to Ezekiel and Ball.
All right. I am going to cast Locate Object on Vesper's bag.
Okay.
So my roll is good. That's a 20.
Yeah. And that's within like at least a mile or something?
It's 1,000 feet.
Okay. I think it is, but since I have a ruler, yeah. So you cast this magic and suddenly you feel like wind pulling you, drawing your gaze, and you're looking almost through the door and through the wall, but you can almost see where it is. You can feel it. The magnetism of this place. You know precisely where it is in distance. In direction.
And I will describe that way, distance, direction, get them there.
Okay. Unicorn kind of steps up and tries to get within because it needs to be close.
I'll move that away
okay.
So that I'm not blocking.
Okay. Gets to where it is. That brings up to Ball. Are you just kind of getting prepared?
I will say to before, if you get to them, wait a few minutes for me, but if it looks bad, get out. That's not an option, okay?
Okay. Get out of here quick.
I'll be back right behind you as fast as I can.
Okay.
It's Ball's turn here, so maybe before Ball goes, Ball's going to try to give him a little buff. Maybe before he walks away, Ball's going to, like before Ezekiel steps over to the side, Ball's going to just reach over to him and say, we'll see you soon, Ezekiel. And try to cast protection from evil and good.
Okay.
So he's going to have to do the check, and obviously it's not going to work. So this is my first time doing a check. What am I rolling for it?
It's essentially a spell attack roll.
So my spell attack bonus is 7.
But you do have the despair as well. It's a disadvantage on the check.
So I'm going to roll twice here with disadvantage. 10 plus 1d4 for bless. Does 14 do it?
Just makes it.
I'm sorry, Bless doesn't work on checks. It's attack rolls.
Okay. Well, then.
So you attempt to draw in the energy as you try to put this blessing upon Ezekiel, but it's too far. You can't access the energy.
Throws or attack rolls. Okay. Well, anyway, the message is still kind of the same. Maybe it just comes across as Ball trying to say some kind of a prayer to you instead.
As we come back around to the top of the next round, why don't we take a few minutes break and maybe come back at 9:55? Is that enough? Do I need more? Otherwise, we can come back at 10, 10:05. What do you guys
10 would be better for me.
Let's do 10 then.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next time on Back to the Story.
Surrender now. Because of our friendship, looking at Amsen, I don't want to have to hurt you.
I am so sorry.
And then I'm going to shout, everybody get close together.
Until tears grow wider and eventually open up, and there's a sudden sphere of energy, of purple and swirling that pulls everything inside.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.